Hello, potato. We're doing something a little different this month. I mean, it's not that different. It's all things that we normally would do, but we're doing them all in one month. It's a theme month. This month, Void of Intelligence goes on the march. Now, I know what you're thinking. Void, I have seen what you look like. You don't look like you go marching very often, or probably even walking very often, and well, that's fair. But we're not going on that sort of a march. No, no, no. In March 2025, Void of Intelligence is going on a soup march. So during Soup March, there should be 13 videos. That's if my math works. And for that, we have 13 different soups to try. All soup, all month long. Soup March 2025. It's all about the soup. And I decided to do this because I recently got a number of soups. Almost half the soups here are ones that I just recently picked up. And I have a lot of soups to try. And what if I just did a whole month of soups? And what month is better than the month of March as we march into spring, as we march into the new growing season, as we march into a bevy of soups. But before we start Soup Month, we must set some rules, some explanations of how this works. First of all, I had to figure out, well, what is soup? Soup is obviously soup. But is broth soup? Yes, broth is soup. Stew is also soup. We don't have any stew, but stew would be a soup. So would soup dumplings. It's in the name. They are soup dumplings. They are full of soup. Therefore, they would count. If I had held on to those soup dumplings, they'd have been part of Soup March. Now, obviously, things like last week's ghost pepper chicken noodle, that's a soup. That would have been great for Soup March. I could have held on to that and not had to go find other soups. But I didn't think about this until after I recorded that video. That's how void of planning Void of Intelligence is. We did not plan this. It just kind of came to me in the last week that, hey, I could do that. And then I would already know I'm doing all month long for videos. But question is, what is not soup? So for the purposes, broth is soup, soup dumplings is soup, stew is soup. You can go ahead and argue about it in the comments with me if you want. I may or may not respond, but this is my thing. These are my rules, and I'm not open up to debate for them this year. Now, if there's a Soup March 2026, if there's still a Void of Intelligence in 2026, if there's still United States in 2026, maybe I will reconsider the rules then. But those are the rules for this year. So things like tteokbokki, not a soup. As much as I love tteokbokki, it's not a soup. It is rice noodles in a sauce. See right there, rice cake with a hot and spicy sauce. It is not a soup. As we're these say soup on them. Whatever this is, I've had it for a while, I haven't done it yet. Spaghetti bolognese, kosher, instant. This is out of date too. I should probably do this next month, I guess. Whatever this is, it's not soup. Chili, not soup. Chili needs to wait. Chili will not be part of Soup Month. None of these are soups. Which is a shame, because as you can see, I have all of them here and need to do videos on them. And honestly, some tteokbokki sounds good, but it is Soup Month. It is Soup March. It is the month of soups, all March long. 13 videos of soups. So what soups do we have here? Well, the things that triggered this ultimately are these two and these three. Given that I also just recently did soup dumplings and the ghost pepper soup, I had a lot of soups. I had a lot of soups sitting around. I need to do something with soups. So I just bought a few more soups and we'll do them. But first, what do we have? What are our options this month? Because see, I'm not going to do them in order. The only ones I'm doing in order are the hot ones here because they do actually go up in temperature, and so I want to do them in order. But otherwise, we're going to do this random. I am going to take my favorite set of dice from that blind bag I got at Terran Empire Publishing at SAC Anime Winter 2025, the ones that are spattered in blood, and we're going to roll the die. Now, obviously, there's not a 13-sided die here, but again, there's technically only 11 things here because this is going to count as one. Because again, I'm going to do these in order: mild, medium, and spicy. Whenever they come up in the roll, this will be the first one to go. And how am I going to figure out which one we're doing? Well, of course, we've got the dice, but how to make sure the dice roll is fair? Well, I did pick up this lovely dice tower from Once a Day Designs back at the Mandarin Festival last year. So I'm going to take my die. I don't need a D20, obviously. Here we go, D12. We'll start with a D12. Take that. I'm going to throw it in there, and that's going to tell us which soup we're going to have on any given day. And of course, there are smaller dice, so as we need to, we'll go down, I guess, until we get to D3. When we get beyond D3, we'll use the mystical magical coin to choose between the last two, unless the last two are hot ones, in which case the order will be obvious. So what do we have here? So part of what started this were these two here. Somebody posted a picture of these online, Proper Good, which I feel like I want to say that like Ollie G, but I also feel like saying that on camera would get me in trouble. So we won't. I might say it in a British accent at some point, but for now, we won't. And those are cheeseburger soup and pizza soup. When I saw a picture of those online, I'm like, wow, that sounds awful. I must try it. And so we shall. And so ultimately, the seeds for Soup Month were planted because it was in searching for these that I found these. And that's what led to where we are. That's actually when I found this as well. And that's what led us to where we are today. So yeah, we have, from Proper Good, we have cheeseburger soup, pizza soup, two of which I have very high doubts about. Then we also have one that sounds a little bit more reasonable, Thai style red curry soup. Now initially, because I had a couple curry soups, and I was like, is curry a soup? I don't feel like curry is a soup. I feel like curry is something I serve on rice, but it says soup. If it identifies as a soup, it is a soup for the purposes of Soup March, as where things like stir-fry noodles are not. Then from, I still don't know, IDW, I've had everything here except for Proper Good and Millie's. I have tried stuff by them before, and it's all been lovely. So I'm not doubting quality of anything except for the first three and the last three. We'll find out about those. But we have Mi Fa Bo, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, but that's artificial beef flavored noodles. I've tried a noodle from them before, way back in 2020 during the original Just Add Water week. I tried the Tom Yum flavor, and yum indeed it was. So also, I just love the fact it comes in its own little steeping pot that you can like keep and use to put peanut shells in. Then from Shirakiku, we have Sanukiya Udon. I honestly don't remember if I've tried any of their instant noodles before, but I have had things from the Shirakiku brand, and they've been nice. From Nongshim, we have Yukgaijeng Ramen Noodle Soup, Spicy Beef Flavor. From Maruchan, we have Birria Beef Flavor Ramen Bowl. From Asha and Hot Ones, yep, I'm doing another Hot Ones thing, we have the trio of sweet chili, garlic chili, and smoky chili, mild, medium, and hot, which we'll find out. I mean, those Hot Pockets were those heat there. They weren't like super hot, but there was heat there. And then finally, we have a trio of sipping broths from Millie's, Delight Pho, Thai lemongrass, and spicy tortilla. So for the purposes of that original dice roll, if I was going with the dice roll I already did, which was an 8, see there, I would be doing a Hot Ones today. But that wasn't the real roll. That was just to demonstrate how we're going to do it. So let's put the dice tower here and roll it for real and see what the inaugural Soup March video will be about. And it's a 7. So what is number 7 here? 7 would be the Birria Beef, if my count is correct. Yep, Birria Beef by Maruchan is going to be our first soup for Soup March. Birria beef's a nice flavor when it comes to, like, you know, tacos, burritos, nachos. How does it do in ramen? Well, we're gonna find out shortly here. This is, yep, good till next year, so it's in date. What do we have to do here? Remove lid. So there's two methods. There's boiling water method and there's microwave method. Well, I think I'm gonna go, I'm a fan of the like classic boiling water method, so we're gonna do that. Open lid halfway, remove the 2 packets, open packet 1 and pour into the container. Fill the container inside line boiling water. Close lid securely and let stand for 3 minutes. Handle carefully afterwards. All right, so, well, it's open enough to go look at it, and then I will need to go get some boiling water. Not everything here is cooked the same way, or will be served in the same sort of dish. I mean, a lot of it has its own, so we won't need that, but like Proper Good. Proper Good, it says you can drink these out of the envelopes, but I don't feel like that's a good idea, because you're only gonna hold them by these two little spots. We'll go over that more when we get to those, but I think we're gonna put those in bowls. And the sipping broth we'll have in cups, because we're fancy like that. So we'll remove it entirely or remove it halfway? Open lid halfway, remove the packets. All right, let's take a look and see what we have here. Sounds like it may have had a little rough time in shipping. I don't know how well the mic picks it up. A lot of rattling there. So let me go open up halfway, take out our packets. So there's our flavor packet. There is this beef? Is this like actual beef dust? Dust is definitely the word. And we have, there's a lot. 78% of my daily sodium. So that's why you don't want to have more than one of these a day. 11 grams of protein. I think it's actually pretty high for a ramen. Onion, garlic. I'm gonna guess those are probably plant-based. It's probably not vegetarian because it probably has like beef extract in it somewhere to get that birria beef flavor. I don't see, they don't have it sectioned off. Usually things, have like the packets in their own little sections, but I don't see that here. It just says packet 1. Pour in before cooking. Well, we'll check it out when we open it. This one you pour in after cooking. So, what do our noodles look like? Anything special there? No, just your basic ramen puck. So let me grab some boiling water. We'll pour in packet 1. We'll pour in the water to the fill line. Yep, there's a fill line. 440 calories, by the way, if you're interested. Product is extremely hot. Well, not right now, but it will be. It will be. And that line, yep. And then 3 minutes. So we're gonna have a jump while I go get some hot water. Then we'll have another jump while we let the noodles cook. So I'll be right back. Here's jump number 1. Okay, I'm back with our, just off the boil water. It was boiling when I left the kitchen. So again, what we need to do, So this does say to pour both packets into the noodles before I put the water in, but this one says pour in after cooking. Is that for the microwave instructions? No, it says the same thing on the microwave. What do we do, folks? This says pour in after cooking. This says to pour it in for, I guess we'll go off the instructions on the package. Maybe the cup was made later and they changed it. I don't know. Let's open that. We're going to put in number 1 and see what it is. What is this? What does it smell like? It smells very savory. It actually smells quite nice. I haven't eaten yet today, so it actually smells very beefy. So I guess that's our beef birria chunks. Little chip. Looks like kind of like red chili flake, but it's too dark for that. Put a piece in my mouth. Oh, it's very salty. Yeah, it's like freeze-dried beef. Very salty. Not bad though. Very savory. Very salty, very savory. It's a tiny little piece. It's like, yeah, it's freeze-dried beef or it's freeze-dried like soy protein meant to simulate the beef. And then we need to put in, see, this says pour in after cooking and this says to pour it in now. Well, we'll go with the cup. We'll go with the cup instructions. It gives us a chance to try this now as well before we add the water. It's a very brown powder, which I guess makes sense for beef birria or birria beef. Let's give it a sniff. Smells spicier than I would have thought. Smells much more like maybe turmeric. I don't think I saw turmeric in the ingredients. I was kind of more skimming them than reading them. Let's try a little of that. I like the smell of the beef better. It's very savory flavored. Weirdly, while the beef is really salty, this is not particularly salty. That's a really nice beefy, savory flavor. So I have high hopes for this now. I mean, Maruchan is not a bad brand. I've had Maruchan stuff. I've had Maruchan stuff for years. They're not even that particularly new. I mean, I think they've been up there with like top ramen and cup noodle. All right, and then fill it up so that like, just distributed over the noodles. And then add our water to the line. Almost. There's the line. All right, so we are going to let that sit for 3 minutes, which means it's time for another jump cut. As we jump ahead, or I guess I do more of a swirly cut, don't I? It's time for a clockwork swirl cut. And I'll see you back here in another 3 minutes. Our 3 minutes have passed. It is now time to try some Maruchan Birria Beef Flavor Ramen Noodle Soup for the first video of Soup March 2025. Let's peel the top off. Got to give it a bit of stir, looks like, because only some of that mixture. So what was that? That powder is supposed to be what? It's called consomme when it's in birria beef, right? Once I bought birria beef before and it came in consomme. Fancy term. Not a term that I would associate with the name birria beef, or beef birria, which I think was what it was called when I tried it. Get a good amount of ramen in here, that's for sure. It's definitely a healthy amount of ramen, because it was like 440 calories. So that makes sense. You get a lot of ramen. I mean, you don't want all the broth necessarily. The broth is, it's where that salt is. Where 3/4 plus of your daily salt lies in this dish. All right, let's get a little under. I think it's mixed up nicely. The little beef chunks, I don't see them. I mean, we know they're there. They're probably at the bottom of the cup by now. Hopefully some of them will get mixed into the noodles, and then we can give them a try as well. But I'm not, oh, wait. There's one. Gotta sneak up on it. F, we got it, yes. I don't know why it said the letter F, but we got it. It's a pretty good chunk too. That got big. Nothing in that package was that big. That got pretty big. And I normally, I would want to try the noodles and stuff first, but I've got this here. I'm gonna try it first. A little tough, very flavorful. Not as salty but I want to say, I do feel like that is probably textured soy protein, not actually beef. Just the way it kind of breaks apart in my mouth. I think it's like soy. I don't think that is real beef. Still good though. And I'm sure with the noodles and stuff, it'll be fine. All right, got a little of the broth in there, got some noodles in there. There is our Maruchan Birria Beef flavored ramen bowl in a spoon. Let's give it a try. Up close, the smell from the sauce packets is kind of gone. It's very much just kind of smells of ramen. Not bad. Maruchan ramen noodles aren't the worst in the world, but they're also not the best. They do tend to feel overcooked very quickly, and these do. They feel like I've cooked them too long, despite them only being just in the hot water, which wasn't even quite boiling when I put them in there. Yeah, they're not bad. I've been eating too much stuff like Asha, where it's kind of just a slightly better quality noodle. And these do taste a little cheap to me. And I don't think this was a particularly cheap one. I think it was like $2 or $3. This wasn't like, 10 packets for $2 kind of ramen. It also isn't, like $5. This sauce seems like it's fairly thick. The broth seems to be thickening up really, quite a bit. It's not quite as like, I thought it was almost like, almost syrupy when I first started putting it in there, but it's definitely a thick broth. Let's try it on its own. Not bad. I am dripping broth everywhere. It's not bad. It is, given how flavorful the powder packet and the little chunks of beef were, it's a little bland. It's not spicy. There's a little like pepperiness, like black pepper maybe, in the back of the throat. It could be red pepper, but it's very subtle overall. Yeah, I'm running out of, this thing is like still sucking up the broth. I think this could be like, end up being like the cup noodle curry noodles, where by the end there is no broth left to not drink. It may all be absorbed into the noodles. Which, given that the noodles already feel a little overdone, is probably not great. So I probably shouldn't sleep on this too long before I finish eating it. This is my lunch, so as with Just Add Water Wednesdays, Soup March will be much. I'm gonna eat a lot of soup this month. I don't usually eat 13 portions of soup in a single month, but this month we will. And if I have soup that's not on camera, it'll be even more than that. It does seem like the consomme, the broth here, is reducing a lot. I mean, I know I commented that there seemed like a pretty healthy amount of noodles here, and there are. But it seems like they're still like being absorbed into the noodles more while I sit here and witter away at you. But it's not bad. It is not one I think I would get again. I do think I'm going to add some chili oil to this just to give it a little heat. It didn't say it was a spicy thing. I didn't buy it expecting it to be a spicy thing. That's not a dig at the product. The little bits of beef or simulated beef are kind of nice. I feel like if I've had any in the noodles, I haven't noticed them. I only, know from that piece that I did manage to hunt down and eat. I mean, if they're in there, there's a piece there. They're there, but I don't feel like they're contributing much overall to the texture or flavor when you get noodles. The broth is honestly a little weakly flavored. I kind of thought, given how flavorful the powder was and how flavorful the little meat chunks were, that the broth would just absolutely punch me in the nose with flavor. And it's a little subdued. I'm a little disappointed in that. It's nice and savory, just not, it doesn't have that oomph that I was kind of expecting out of it. But it's very savory, it's very meaty. It's got a good beef flavor. Does it taste of birria beef? I haven't had enough birria beef in my life to have enough of the sense of the flavor to go, yes, that is what that tastes like. But it's definitely meaty. It's definitely savory. It is not nearly as salty as having 78% of your daily sodium would make you expect it to be, nor is it nearly as salty as like the little beef chunks on their own were. But it's not bad. I'm going to enjoy finishing this, but I probably would not buy birria beef flavored ramen again, unless I wanted to do something else like with it, like if it was part of a larger dish, but I have no idea what that would be. But still, not a bad start to Soup March, not a bad lunch, and not much reason to continue this video any longer. It already should be the longest video of Soup March because we had to explain the rules. And I'm not going to keep in the cup to rank them. I would kind of wanted to like keep things and rank them, but I really can't. I don't want to keep a dirty, even if I wash it out, like a soggy, sodden cardboard bowl sitting around in the void space all month long. So we won't do that. We'll just remember what I like. And if at the end, when we get to the end of the month, when we do video 13, I will try to remember. If something was really good or really bad, I'm sure it'll stand out to me, so I'll be able to remember. But putting things in individual ranks, probably not. But good. I would give this on a rank of 0 to 10. I'm going to give it a 6. It is perfectly suitable, perfectly edible, decent enough flavor. For me, it needs spice. It could just be a little stronger in flavor overall. It just objectively not going to like my personal taste of spice. It could be a little like stronger flavored overall. It is absorbing that broth like just absolute crazy. It is going to just be noodles and sauce probably before I'm done eating it. It's probably not going to be soup anymore. But it was soup. It said soup on it. Well, it didn't say soup on there, but it says ramen. Ramen. We're counting ramen as soup. It was a soup when we started. This, I think, sets a nice baseline. I think I have a variety of flavors and textures and just potential for absolute awfulness here to look forward to this month. I think this is a very nice, straight, middle of the road pitch down the center for what we can expect from Soup March. It's probably, honestly, probably the most basic of the things here, and it ranks as such. It doesn't stand out as fantastic, but it's not bad either. And with that, we will end the first episode of Soup March. Look forward for the rest of the month as we go through the other 12 soups here. We got instant noodles, we got broths, we got prepared soups. It should be a rockin' good time as we go on the march for Soup March 2025. I hope you found it all interesting or entertaining. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time when once again we go on the Soup March.